Hi there, and welcome. Today's theme is Elvis Presley, but maybe not the way you expect. Is he dead? Is he alive? Both are right. We know he died on the 16th of August in 1977, but his eternal soul is working on the other side with a special mission that we will give you today. I'm Jacob Thomason of Gothenburg, Sweden, and beside me is sitting Anna, a medium from Skövde, Sweden. Anna has an amazing story to tell you about her relationship with Elvis Presley, which started in 1978 and deepened in 2018, when Elvis had completed his rehabilitation on the other side in the hospital there. Anna has received numerous messages from Elvis, all of which she has written down and compiled in a book, published in Sweden 2024. In this clip, we will present extracts from these messages. Well, Anna, what important messages does Elvis want to convey to us?
Yes, eftersom Elvis dog utav en drogöverdos valde han att stanna kvar och inte reinkarnera sig efter sin rehabilitering, utan att stanna kvar på andra sidan och hjälpa de själar som dog utav samma orsaker som han. Att rehabilitera och han ska rehabilitera och förbereda sig för deras återkomst till jorden.
The thing is, Anna, that I chose to stay and work with these souls after a long education, which has taken me almost 35 years. I was in the same situation as many other drug addicts. I had a death wish for a long time, and I also thought I was nearing the end. The training that I have undergone has been difficult, as I had to heal from the drugs first. These had caused my soul serious damage, but not so much that I would end up in the first dimension. I have accepted this mission that has been assigned to me because I know what it is like to use these drugs. I have this as my mission here to be able to help. But Anna, my mission now is to be able to teach you much more advanced treatments for your mission on Earth, so that you can communicate to the world what it is like here and what happens when we die. Then, what happens before the next incarnation, which you have also learned, Anna. I teach those who will be reborn to Earth again. It is a loop. We are reborn down to Earth, and when the time comes, we return to the dimension where we belong and wait for the next life. Anna, Elvis talked about the return to the dimensions where we belong. Can you explain that?
Nåväl, allt i universum är energi. Energi är allt som existerar, och energi kan vibrera med olika frekvenser. Ju högre frekvenserna är, desto mer utvecklade är de själar som stannar kvar i den dimensionen, femte. Själar i den första och fjärde dimensionen är förberedda för sin efterföljande inkarnation, medan i den femte dimensionen eller högre har man möjlighet att stanna kvar på den sidan. Detta var Elvis val, att stanna kvar.
Here is Elvis again. I will tell you this, Anna. What we call dimensions, what is meant by that? Is it similar to the Earth, with houses and a life like yours? No, Anna, it's not quite like that. We have gardens with fruit trees, not to eat from, but to show and know what it looks like when you reincarnate. Lots of flowers in different colors, species, as well as nice green grasses. In addition, there is the house that you live in before you reincarnate or come back here. They are large halls that hold many souls. They are for educational purposes. You have asked about these different dimensions. Who will end up in different dimensions and what criteria must be met so one can reach a higher dimension than last time's reincarnation. It is true that on your return here, you read back through what you initially promised, what you wanted to learn and experience, what hardships, such as poverty or wealth, you wanted to expose yourself to. Then you compare the outcome of your life with what you wanted to do and with which parents. If you have fulfilled these promises, you will end up in a higher dimension. In higher dimensions, there are higher demands on you, what you want to do and what you want to make amends for. In the fifth, where you stay for a very long time, you don't have to be reborn, reincarnated, if you don't want to, because already you've gone through everything you're supposed to do. In the fifth, you can choose different educations and stay here and work as a teacher, or, like me, Elvis, be able to help those who take an overdose of drugs and then end up in a lower dimension. From the fifth dimension, you have the opportunity to visit these lower dimensions and help these souls settle. I have told you so before, and so have your personal guide Michael and other guides. Michael says that I'll soon be on my way to the sixth dimensions, thanks to everything I've accomplished here, to give me an opportunity to rest from my heavy work in helping sometimes completely hopeless cases. Michael chose you as the recipient of information from me about these things. We've been in contact before, about 40 years ago, so it was decided a long time ago. The seventh dimension is a very special dimension. It takes many years to get there. Here we say time, even though we don't move through the time as you do on earth. It is very serious and highly functioning society, a place for souls who have been here before, but who for various reasons have chosen to reincarnate. They are actually guardian angels who, in the event of a disaster, can decide to help people not to die prematurely. When you say, I had a guardian angel who saved me, that's it. Such events have also been shown on television when the angels are on the move, helping people survive. But there are other missions to be carried out here as well for those who wish to help souls settle. We do not touch on the eighth dimension because it is a special dimension and it is not important for you or others to know. Not even if you have been reincarnated. You will find that out in the seventh dimension. Well, Anna, is there anything you would like to add to the description of the dimensions?
Det är bara en sak. Den som allvarligt och långvarigt nyttjat och missbrukat drog, deras hjärnor har blivit så oåterkalleligt förstörda. Det är det som hamnar i första dimensionen och deras själ finns inte mer och kan därmed inte återinkarneras. Att hamna i första dimensionen innebär att all minne raderas ut från alla dina tidigare liv och energin i den individuell själ blir en del av helheten. Elvis är mycket tydlig på denna punkt, hur det går till.
Thank you, Anna. And now to the next message from Elvis that you got on the 23rd of August in 2019. Elvis says, "When I left my earthly body and came over to the other side, I was very well received upon my arrival. I was hospitalized where those who die of an overdose or suicide end up. It is a special place for those who have not fulfilled their karma, life's mission. They came too early and self-inflicted. You are not really allowed to do that. That is why I undertook an education to be able to help those who had come too soon. Because I did. The advantage was that I was famous. Everyone knew who I was. When someone came, they didn't think they were dead, just in delirium. When they saw me dressed as Elvis, I asked, 'Do you know who I am?' 'Yes, I know,' I was told. Then I said, 'You know that I'm dead. And so are you, but in the form of a soul.'" So Anna, Elvis points out that the problem is the supply of drugs. What can be done about that?
Detta är en mycket svår fråga eftersom det är en lukrativ affär att sälja droger. Elvis påminner oss om att pengar styr i världen och att makt och pengar har varit den viktigaste angelägenheten för alla världens ledare.
Then we have the following message from Elvis from the 29th of December 2018. "Unfortunately, drugs are becoming more and more attractive to young people, far too young. They die needlessly so that some people can make a lot of money out of their suffering. The knowledge of what drugs and suicide do to the soul would be of benefit to all who are involved in it. I sincerely hope that someone will take this enlightenment seriously and save humanity from its destruction and unnecessary death, where the destination is the first dimension without reincarnation. Drugs are flowing more than ever, and that is a very dangerous and bad development. Unfortunately, many powerful people are involved in making a lot of money, and then it becomes difficult to do anything drastic. You, Anna, had a thought a long time ago when you said, "Why don't they burn down the crops?" That is not possible as long as those in power in many countries are corrupt and have major economic interests in the whole thing. We find it very sad that it has escalated now for several years without governments having helped these people in misery. It seems that no one cares about this. Mostly it is just empty talk. I'm not talking about those who really put their energy and soul into helping these lost people. But this education should start in school, before kids have a chance to start taking drugs or be recruited to sell. It should be stopped early. It is our duty and responsibility to do so for the well-being and loving existence of the earth. There is a need for more information on the subject so that people are aware of the side effects of drugs and where they will end up after death. Your role, Anna, with your book is to highlight and tell all suicidal people, believers and non-believers, how wrong they are. It could prevent all those souls we receive here from ending up in the lowest dimension. Many books have been written about Elvis and his life as an artist and entertainer, before and after he met Priscilla. In your dialogue with Elvis, has he unveiled any information hitherto unknown?
På ett sätt, ja. Han pratar om sitt liv med mycket sorg. Allt han ville var att sjunga, uppträda. Han älskade musik och han var bra på det också. Men hans liv styrdes av att hans manager och ansvaret för de människor som arbetade för dem. Och man hade haft självständighet att bestämma riktningen för hans karriär. Är det möjligt att utgången skulle ha varit helt annat, och då kunde han ta mer tid med sin kära familj.
Well, the next message from Elvis, which is from the 6th of November 2020.
Yeah.
I'm here and I'm happy to write with you. I've promised to tell you more about me, which you can include in your book number 2. I was born in 1935 and I also had a twin brother. Unfortunately, my twin brother died at birth, much to my sorrow, when I was old enough to find out. I loved my parents very much. My mother and I were very close. I was struck by great sorrow in my heart when I lost her. She was so young. I never got over that. She has marked my life, loved me, and it was mutual. My great interest was music, and I loved to sing for my mother, and she loved my songs. Music and singing characterized my whole life, a life far too short, according to many. How I was discovered is a famous story, but in spite of everything, my career went well. I came from a simple family. We weren't exactly poor, but weren't rich either. I became famous and had a lot of money. I was happy in the beginning, but the life that followed with my fame was not a happy one. There were trips to different places, movies, and many famous people around me. Everyone thought that was happiness. Being famous and taking orders from others, what to do, what to sing, where to be. I enjoyed the movies that I participated in. It was a very nice and fun team to work with. Touring far from my mother was difficult, but I couldn't stop the action. Fame was on. No private life. Many to support around me. Everyone was dependent on me to help. The pressure was difficult and heavy for me to bear. I longed for a calmer and more harmonious life, but it never happened. I would have liked to tour Europe, but I couldn't because my manager didn't have a passport and therefore couldn't leave the US. So there was no European tour. The chance came when I was drafted and ended up in Germany. It was the best thing that had happened in my life. No requirement to tour and to support people I often heard I was responsible for. In Germany, I missed my parents. My friends were kind and treated me like one of them. It felt good to me. Then I became acquainted with a colonel whose daughter came to mean a lot to me. I was disappointed in the way my life was being run by others. My free will was overridden, and I couldn't live the life that everyone else could. Admittedly, times are different now compared to what they were then, but maybe it's even worse for artists today who are hounded by fans or photographers and have no privacy. It is difficult for them to cope with such a life, despite the fact that they are famous and earn a lot of money. In the end, many of them commit suicide. I know that because that's my job here. It's not a job you want to do. Unfortunately, many people come up here too early after an overdose or because they have killed themselves in some other way. My life didn't turn out the way I had imagined. Everyone knows that by now. I had a hard time coping with the hysteria around my person, but my best time was the time in Germany. They treated me like everyone else, which felt very good to me. Finally, I could just be myself and not an admired person. That was the time when I did my military service there. At the time, I dreamed of being able to visit Europe and perform there. Unfortunately, as I've told you before, that did not happen. After my return to America, I asked to do so, but it was not possible because my manager did not have a visa to work outside the country. That prevented me from fulfilling my dream. I was sad because there in Germany, I fell in love with the most beautiful girl in the world. It was the daughter of a colonel, and the colonel told me that if I wanted his daughter, I would have to wait until she was a little older, because she was much younger than me. I replied, "This isn't a problem, because I love your daughter, and I will wait." That's how I left Germany, and it was harder than I thought. The next text, a message from Elvis. Well, here's the next message from Elvis, from the 15th of October 2020. Hi, Ella. I'm glad you want to talk and write with me. We spoke on your 41st birthday in 1978, but we stopped because you couldn't read my writings. Now I'm here. A lot of people think I'm still alive. Wrong. I'm not. You know that. A lot of people think I've been reborn, but that's wrong too. My time here was very difficult in the beginning. You know that, Anna. I told you that I was neglecting my health, which eventually led to my untimely death. You know I had a death wish. Couldn't handle all the pressure from those around me who kept telling me what I should and shouldn't do. I couldn't bear to listen to them because it was money that controlled all my performances. I couldn't live with my family and was constantly traveling. Girls were sent to me. It was disgusting because I loved my wife Priscilla and my daughter Lisa Marie. Everyone around me dictated my life. I couldn't sleep or eat real food, just junk food that made me fat. I disliked everyone around me, but at the same time I knew that without me, they had no income, which they were greedily anxious to have. For me, money became hell because it didn't bring me any family or happiness, only misery. I understand that my life couldn't live with me. Everything got so much worse after she left me. It came as a shock to me when my wife filed for divorce. She didn't want to live a life when I was away from her most of the time. Yeah. I understood her. The life we lived was not normal and natural. I took it very hard, maybe harder than Priscilla. I never got over our separation. It followed me to the end. Life was hard for me. I was taking drugs that were supposed to help me perform. The women who were arranged for me meant nothing to me. I worked in hibernation, took drugs and ate the wrong foods. I gained weight and became aware of it, but it got to the point where I didn't care about anything. Then, more drugs, and that's how it turned out. I took too big a dose and didn't wake up. And now Anna. Elvis is on the other side, helping souls who have died of overdoses or taken their lives in some other way. Can you tell us a little about your collaboration with Elvis?
Ja, Elvis har lärt mig hur jag kan ta mig till tredje dimensionen, astralresa. Astralresa har jag kunnat förut, men att komma dit och komma tillbaka som en jordlig människa, så han var väldigt duktig med att lära mig. För i tredje dimensionen finns sjukhus som alla återkommer till. Och där behandlas efter varför de har kommit. Den femte dimensionen har han lärt mig hur jag kan undervisa de själar som förbereds till återinkarnering. Och där lär jag dem, de här som är färdiga att återinkarneras. Så ja, det gäller droger och situationer när han är hos mig. Hur är det i världen just nu och hur många som dör i det. Och i katastrofer många dör. Så samarbetet med honom fortsätter än idag som världen ser ut idag. Så de måste veta när de kommer, varför de kommer och hur vi kan hjälpa dem.
Thank you, Anna, for sharing your experiences with me and all the viewers. Is there anything you would like to end with?
Yes. Jag, Anna Alby, vill uttrycka min tacksamhet till alla mina kontakter i olika dimensioner som jag får besöka och arbeta i. Samt här på jorden, Elvis Presley, min guide Mikael och många fler. Jag hoppas att ni som lyssnat på våra berättelser tar till er det viktiga budskapet vi vill förmedla till er. Till alla. Jag är också tacksam över att ha haft Elvis Presley närvaro i mitt liv under så många år. Då han har visat mig vad som sker efter döden. Efter att vi lämnar det jordiska livet. Och hur själen går vidare till en annan dimension. Det har varit många år av lärande och utbildning innan jag kunde besöka den tredje och femte dimensionen. Samtidigt vill jag tacka för Jakob och Mimmi, allt detta arbete som har lagt till och det här kunnat åstadkomma till er, Anna.
Thank you, Anna, and thank you all viewers who have taken part of the messages from Elvis. The extracts you've listened to are taken from Anna's second book, which contains even more conversations with Elvis and other souls on the other side. Thank you again, and goodbye.
Thank you.